we're at the Cruise the Shediac. It's another local car show, not as big as the Atlantic Nationals, but you know, we're still gonna see what we can see. Today we're gonna be looking at rat rods, so let's just see what kind of shenanigans we can find. Welcome to Ohio Stable Garage. I had to bring you guys over here because there's a gigantic speaker there. You would never hear what I'm saying, and YouTube already hates me for the copyright. So, but that right there is a 1987 Chevrolet pickup truck. It looks to be an automatic, so turbo 300 most likely, and it's a 350 Chevy, likely a 4-bolt main because it's from a pickup, with about 37 different types of timber inside it. It was made by a guy down in Miramichi. I was talking to the owner, and the guy owned a sawmill, but he wasn't a good metal fabricator. But, you know, he put all his wood together and made that thing. I wish I could go over it a little bit closer, but we can't because of the speaker. But that's definitely a one-of-a-kind vehicle, and I don't think we'll ever see another one again. But we got a lot more rat rods to look at. Let's keep on walking. So here we have a 1931 Dodge panel, but it used to be a 4-door sedan. He took panels and he welded the panels all in. It's quite cool. If you look in here, you can still see the 4-door to the 4-door panel. Gas tanks in the back. It's the original frame, all boxed in. Mustang 2 suspension, retrofitted in. It's a 327 out of a Corvette with a 700 R4 automatic hydraulic transmission. So it's quite a pretty penny there. Has the dual vents, kind of like our 54 International. Ours is just kind of plugged right into the center. But if we keep going back, so it's on big track bars with coils and a Ford 9-inch retrofitted in. Quite the cool rig. Is that a 3-link? It's a 3-link suspension. We have here a 51 Fargo. It's a pretty heavy duty rat rod there. As you can see, it's a Crown Vic front aluminum cross member in it. Coilovers front and back, 4-link on the rear. It's actually one of the only 302 powered rat rods here, which is pretty neat. It has a neat little air cleaner. all that kind of stuff. As you can see, the inside is a machete for his automatic shifter, and then a wrench for his e-brake. You know, quite a lot of stuff. Don't cut yourself. You know. And then this is a 4x, 8.8 4-link coil over rear suspension. Really cool, really neat. Lots of work put into this thing. Air tank, fuel tank, whole bunch of stuff. Here we have a neat one. It's a 1929 Ford Model A two-door coupe. Alright, so the audio got kind of jumbled up on this one clip, but this is a Model A Ford, and it's on a tracker frame, which is pretty wild. Has a winch, four-wheel drive with an aluminum cross member, a whole bunch of neat stuff. That red box that you see right there is actually its battery box. It's running the inline 4. It's actually a fuel-injected tracker. Pretty neat. So I thought it was a tracker looking at the independent suspension and stuff, but when we came in, we saw the steering wheel said tracker, so sealed the deal. But it has a brake mousse, it has a master brake cylinder, as a cup holder, a couple neat things. It's on 35 12.5 by 15 mud terrain tires, and it's a solid axle. It's factory tracker suspension underneath. So it's really different from all the other cars here that are normally lowered, big engines, all that stuff. This is likely geared way up, somewhere around 410, maybe even a 511, something like that. But it's lifted, a whole bunch of neat stuff. There's something really cool that you can go on some dirt trails with and just have a lot of fun with. It's really neat. You don't see this every day, but let's keep moving on. Here we have a 1927 Ford Model T. We thought it was a Perkins when it drove in, because it kind of has a tractor front end and all that stuff, and it sounds like a diesel coming in, but we're giving it a little bit more of a once over. But it has a custom box tube front grille, kind of like a train, like a cow pusher on a train. Pretty neat. Bring you guys in. The front end off of a tractor, not quite sure what. It almost looks like a Ford front end off of a tractor, but we thought it was a Perkins coming in, but it's a diesel Kiki. It's a Japanese 4-cylinder inline diesel, mechanical. I'm not quite sure what it is, tell you the honest truth. I've never seen a Kiki diesel before, but there's a lot more to look at this, so let me bring you guys in a little bit closer. It's either two frames welded together, or it's one frame that's been shortened, but there's the main seam right there. As you can see, it's the original four-door sedan, it's the original four-door sedan doors here, but it's all been chopped right off. For his 4-speed transmission, he has a wrench welded to it, racing wheel, minimal gauges, whole bunch of neat stuff like that, but it's really cool, not gonna lie. His seat for his upholster, instead of putting cushions and everything, he weaved ratchet straps together, load straps, and made the back seat, also the front seat too. Turned out really cool. And then he has some heavy-duty truck exhaust. So, like a lot of things here, oh, my mic's hitting a whole bunch of stuff, but like a lot of things here, it's Ford 8.8 swapped at the back. You can kind of see the shock is in the right spot on the saddle, spring over, all that stuff, likely out of a Ranger or an Explorer. So I don't know why I never saw this at the very beginning, but it's a Ford Ranger for sure. So it might not be an 8.8 at the back, it might be a smaller 7 1/4 or 7 1/2 rear, but easy to tell. It has the twin I-beam forward, cast members on the front, ball joint, so it's over, I would say 1985 for sure. I'm guessing it's a Ford Ranger, might be a Bronco 2 as well, so it's really hard to say. If you didn't notice, there's quite a lot of similarities on our 54 that we're building, and that's because this is a 1954 International, just, you know, heavily modified. But let me bring you guys in. There's a couple neat things on this truck I want to show you. Up until about here, roughly, this would have been factory 54 International, and then obviously they added these indentations, and then the front end is something else. I'm not quite sure what it is. The fenders are off of a different vehicle as well. It's been heavily modified there. But some of the key indicators it's a 54, if I bring you guys in, you see our main seam here, like on ours. We have our main scoop, like on ours. It goes like this and like that. For the hinges, see, there's a little bit of stuff that I can already kind of look at. He just used a 3/8 bolt as his hinge. Obviously it fits. We use screwdrivers for ours at the very beginning, but the 54 doors pretty much all there, other than he chopped, I don't know, it must be close to 4 inches out of this glass, the windows, the whole bit. The visor looks to be off of a different vehicle altogether, but there's a lot of that going around on this. Let me bring you guys in. So the gauge cluster's all 54. Actually, if you look, he has that hard to find chrome piece for the cigarette ashtray. It's right there. We don't have that. There's a couple things on this that we don't have that we're gonna have to try to source. But if you look, they extended out their fenders. I don't know, that must be close to 3.5 inches at least. And then he removed the spare tire piece. We have to still do that on ours. But International at the back, he raised up his floor on his bed to fit the S10 frame. And he actually has one hard piece for us to find as well. He has the International tailgate on top of this thing. So yeah, there's a couple pieces that I wish I had off this, but whatever, it is what it is. There's a little pistol on there. He also, for the intake right there, he has a pistol right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Very neat.